Welcome, welcome. I'm super excited that you're here with me today. My name is Cindy Lish, and I am an accomplished career coach that helps stay-at-home moms with the confidence, tools, and skills to successfully get back to the workforce. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. So whether you've been at home for 20 minutes or 20 years, this is the place for you. Now, before we get started, please subscribe to my channel so you're the first one to know every single time I go live, which is going to be weekly on Wednesdays. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so today we are going to talk about 3 things that you absolutely don't want to talk about on that interview if you want to get the job. Okay, so the first one, and this one may surprise you, the first one is you have to balance your enthusiasm for the company as well as your enthusiasm for the actual job that you are interviewing for. Okay, so what does that mean? Do I want you to know about the company? Yes, you know that. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I want you to be very, very knowledgeable about the company and their mission and what they do and you know what parts of their programs or things that you really admire. But, and here's the but, here's the catch. Suppose that you are looking for this job as an entryway into the company, but you really, really don't want this job. You're not interested in this job, you don't want this job, and you're looking at the higher up positions over there, but this job doesn't interest you at all. That may come through on that interview. Okay, so if every time they ask you questions about, you know, why do you want to work here and what excites you about this company and why did you apply for this position and tell us what you're great at and why you'd be great for this company, if everything you're talking about is not talking about this job, okay, but is only talking about the opportunities for advancement, the additional training I'm going to get, or talking about, that you offer, you pay for college or any of those other things, that's going to be a red flag that you're not interested in this position and you just want to get into the company. Okay, understand the balance, right? We definitely want you to show excitement for this company. It's not that you are looking for a job, any job. You really, really want this job at this company, but it's a balance of the two, okay? Because do companies want somebody who is vested in them and is excited about them and wants to stay and wants to learn and wants to grow with them? For sure, right? Because companies invest a lot of money in hiring people. And if you come to a company and you quit, you leave very shortly thereafter, it costs them so much to train you, right? It costs them so much if they keep having a constant flow of hiring new employees and they leave and hiring new employees and they leave. But remember that for today, they are looking to hire somebody because they need someone in this specific role. So be very, very careful of making that balance and not showing that you really don't care about this job, but you're only interested in the company. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, I know, right, is talking about salaries, talking about benefits, talking about any other type of employee compensation, paid time off, things like that, talking about, the ability to be able to leave, if my child needs something, if there's an emergency. Any of those things brought up on initial interviews is a huge red flag. Now, I know, and listen, everybody knows that if everybody were more transparent up front about things like salary, a lot of time would be wasted on both sides, right? Because salary can absolutely positively be a make break in, are you going to accept this position? Okay. Bottom line is, as crazy as it sounds, employers want employees to want the job because they are so passionate about the job and not just because of the financial, the financial payment that they're going to get for it, not just because of the salary. Okay. On top of which, as we all know, whoever speaks first, whoever makes that first move, whoever talks first about salary usually is the loser in the game. So we definitely want to wait and talk about all these things until much later on. You want to wait to talk about salary and benefits until they bring it up. Okay. Now, when I mentioned flexibility and children and being able to leave a job, if your child had an emergency, okay. So just think about this, and especially think about this if you are a mom with a big gap and you're re-entering the workforce now, but it's certainly relevant for everybody. Is if your biggest concern on that first interview is, what if my child has an emergency? Can I leave work? It's going to sound to the employer like you're not really ready to come back to work. Okay. Now, mind you, of course, we all want to work in places where if we had an emergency, we could leave. And this doesn't just apply to parents, this applies to everybody, right? I mean, we have parents, we have things, there's incidents, there's all kinds of stuff. I remember I was working somewhere and all of a sudden I had a medical emergency on my own and I had a big project, a big thing that I had to do for tomorrow. But I had been working there long enough and the level of my work was such top notch that it was like, hey, listen, I have to leave right now, but I promise you this will be done. I will be here tomorrow. This will be done. No, it wasn't an emergency that was contagious. It was a personal medical emergency there. But this had to be taken care of right now. And then I would be able to get that job done. And if you're showing that you're that level of employee that always does their work, of course they're going to grant you that leniency. Okay. And the last thing that you want to be super careful about, and they sometimes egg you on for this one, so let's talk about this, is bad mouthing your previous job or your previous boss. Okay. Now, it's you may have worked for the biggest control freak, the most micromanager that walked the face of this earth, but bad mouthing your boss or your former boss at a current job interview will not get you that job. Okay. First off, it may seem like the problem is you, especially if you're telling that story with a lot of emotion, a lot of anger. It may seem like the problem is you and not them. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is that, if you're bad mouthing your previous boss or your current boss, if you're there, and I'm concerned now, right? You are a risk for me to hire because when you leave, you might badmouth me also, right? So think about that. It's always, am I the right fit for this company? Do they want to invest in hiring me for this job? Okay. And it's so much easier if they think that you might have a bad attitude, if they think you might not play well with others. It's so much easier for the employer to make that decision before they hire you than to have to get rid of you after the fact. Okay. So definitely, you don't want to badmouth your employer. Now, they may ask you, and here's the thing, they may ask questions like, tell me about your previous boss. How would you describe your previous boss? How would your previous boss describe you? What did you like the best about your previous job? What did you like the least about your previous job? But remember that everything that you're putting out there, we want to put it out there with a positive spin. Okay. Nobody wants to hire somebody that's talking badly about a company. Okay. So these are three things to be careful about when you're going on job interviews to not be talking about. Okay. So the first one is to make sure that you're not showing a greater excitement for the company than for the actual job. The second one is to stay away from talking about salaries and benefits and pay time off. And the third one is to really make sure that you're not bad mouthing anybody else. Okay. I hope this was helpful for you. If you like what you just saw, please give me a thumbs up, like me, share me with your friends so I can help other women to get back to the workforce. And pop on over, visit me at my website, cindylish.com. I have so much more free content for you. I have an exclusive free private Facebook group. I'm there every single day. I answer your questions. I have exclusive content just for that group, resume hot seats, and a lot more exclusive events. On my website, I have more blogs, more videos, also the opportunity to talk one-on-one with me to see how I can personally help you out in your job search. So always remember that you're a warrior, ladies. I hope you have a productive week, and I'll catch you the next time. Bye-bye.